Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-match pint, the only West Ham United post-match roller show on the internet. We've just come back virtually from the Emirates Stadium where it was Arsenal 2, West Ham 1. Graham, go for the starting lineup for me.
Don't ask me to do lineup. I missed the beginning.
I
was trying to get a stream up. I missed the beginning.
Do you want me to do it? Right, so yeah, different formation. Noble not in the team today, so Fabianski in goal. Back three of Diop, Ogbonna and Creswell. Fredericks right wing back, Masuaku left wing back, Souček and Rice, who was captain today, in the middle. Bowen, Fornals and Antonio up top on his own.
Right way to play. I thought good team, good energy, a lot different from last week. What can I say? It was just, you might as well copy and pasted the game from last year and just put it and plonked it into this year. In fact, I could show you a post-match pint from last year.
Yeah, we could have just replayed that one.
The thing is, that's 3 in a row now against Arsenal. We've played really well and got nothing out of it.
The thing is, I mean, just talking about the team selection today and the squad in general. I mean, for me, Cullen wasn't even on the bench. He was man of the match the other night. Sebastian Haller, 2 goals the other night. His confidence must have been boosted from them 2 goals, and he's on the bench again. And
Anderson as well.
And Anderson, yeah. And I just thought to myself that if I'm Sebastian Haller, I'll be sitting there thinking, do you know, what's the point? Because the way David Moyes wants to set up, he wants to set up with Antonio all season. You know what I mean? I feel a bit sorry for Sebastian Haller, and especially Josh Cullen as well. I thought he would have got, with Noble being out as well, I thought he would have got on the bench at least. I'd like to have seen him start, in fact.
The thing is,
I agree.
Retrospectively, because you know we can say that now that we've lost the game, but look, the way I look at it is for large part. I don't even think like for large parts of the game we was in it. I think large parts of the game we was on top of them. You know, I think they scored a very. I'll still say it's dubious. You know, I complained so much last year about toenails being offside and all that, and does it make the game? If that's the way they're going to play it this year, and they're going to give the advantage to the attacker, fair play. You know what I mean? Like, I've got no problem with that whatsoever. If that's the way they're going to play it, and it's going to take, because they what's the word? They didn't look at it in my mind for long enough. You see these decisions last year where they was, you know, putting these lines up against toes and toenails and everything else, and taking 2-3 minutes. They didn't look at it for long. But as I said, if they're going to use that system going forward, and it's not going to be like, you know, everyone's going to be penalised for having a toenail offside, brilliant, because I think that's what the game needs, and that's what VAR needs. But if they start toenailing people in a week's time when it's Man United or Man City on the end of one of them goals, then, you know, serious questions need to be asked. There is another handball that I believe that, you know, if it goes the other way, if that's sort of like Bowen who knocks the ball on with like that and we score, that would be disallowed. Anywhere else, that's a free kick. It's, you know, it's just these decisions, you know, but, you know, they come and they go and things like that. But good.
I mean, for me, you know, you probably get accused of being bitter because we lost, but you watch it in real time, and it doesn't look offside. But then, like you say, last year they analysed everything to death, didn't they? And if you're going to do that, then to me, that looked offside the first goal.
Yeah, I mean, this new rule with the handball as well is ridiculous. Like, it's like sleeve length, and if it's above your sleeve, it's not, or your arm, it's in line with your armpit or whatever. It's not handball, and I'm like, well, so what? Well, fucking just all wear long sleeve shirts, then you never give a penalty away.
You want to run around like that?
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. Like, that's handball. That is handball, and I'm like, people say, you're bitter because you lost and all that. In no way. Even if that was, I'll be saying the same thing if that happened at the other end. It's a penalty. There's no doubt about it. But I think it's clear to say, and I think Arsenal fans are admitting as well. I think the best team lost tonight. I think the best team lost. And it's always. I was saying this last night. I was out with a couple of my mates who support Arsenal, and I was saying this every year. We go to the Emirates, we play well, but even a bad Arsenal performance, they always seem to nick a win against us.
Yeah.
That's why it's always been the way down the years, isn't it? Really.
But yeah,
it's a little bit frustrating because, as I say, we were so poor last week, and it was a polar opposite performance. Now, what we don't need, Moyes to be doing is thinking that this one system, fits all, because that's where, we was complaining last week that he was, using the same system in every game, never changes it up. He's changed it up a little bit today. What he can't do is think, right, that's going to work for Wolves, that's going to work for City, that's going to work for, he's got to react to every game, which I'm going to come on to a little bit later about his reactionary performances in his in-game management. But, he needs to analyse his opponents and set up and look at it.
I'll be honest with you, mate, though. I think I like that back five. I do like that because to me, today I think it's one of Masuaku's best games in a West Ham shirt. I thought he was brilliant today.
That's brilliant, right?
Yeah, up and down that left side, put in some good crosses. He was putting his tackles in. I think the first 15, 20 minutes, we showed Arsenal that we're there for a game. We was putting in tackles, leaving our foot in, letting them know we're there. Second half, we sort of dropped that a bit. We carried that tempo on in the second half. But, I weren't expecting that performance today, if I'm honest. After watching us against Newcastle last week, I wasn't expecting us to go to the Emirates and we sort of outplayed them. I mean, possession, the stats to say they had more possession, but we had 14 shots. They had 7. They had 3 on target. We had 3 on target. But look, stats are there. The only thing that matters is the stat in the top corner that says 2-1 Arsenal. You know what I mean? So
it's just, the goals were. I think the goal. Look, they got in very easy in the first minute when Lacazette went through. He didn't make anything of it, but there was still the only thing is, as well as we did play, there was still a few lapses in concentration in the defence. They got through well too easily, and we got punished in the end. We got punished with the first goal. He got in behind a little bit, like Yarmolenko got in behind against Charlton, and it was a good. I'll be honest with you, it was a good finish from Lacazette. It was right header right into the group.
Yeah.
It was a great cross as well by Bowen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, I think Arsenal under Arteta have looked a lot more resilient at the back.
The difference with Arsenal under Arteta is that they're sort of winning games that they shouldn't. Like today, which
has always been a sort of question mark against him, really, isn't it? They've always games they should be winning. They've struggled in.
I think we've done well with
the last few years.
I think we've done well as well to keep their sort of big players quiet. Aubameyang, I know he set up Lacazette, but we kept him quiet. I know Lacazette scored a goal, but even we kept him quiet as well. Willian, he didn't have a great game. I mean, he looked well last week against Fulham. I was a bit worried. When you see him in the starting lineup, you think, here we go. But yeah, no, I think overall, we've done well. I can't fault anyone's performance today. The only player that I was sort of disappointed with, because I didn't really think he'd done much, was Fornals. Honestly, I didn't really think he'd done much today.
There was 2 for me. I thought Fornals could have had I'll be honest with you though. I thought Fornals worked very hard. The player I was very disappointed in was Bowen. I thought I think he's starting to get that little bit of frustration. He got off to a brilliant start with us when he first come from Hull, and you can see he's desperate to score, and sometimes that's clouding his judgment, because there was a time when he went through and he tries to smash it through a crowd of defenders so many times, and it just never comes off for him. He's just smashing them against defenders. And there's one time when he could have laid it back into Fredericks, And I was screaming for him, "Lad to Fredericks, lad to Fredericks." Fredericks was bombing on, and he's sort of tried to cut inside and stick it in the bottom corner. But I think he's starting to cut a bit of a frustrated figure up there. I wouldn't be opposed to changing him in the next game, just because I think he needs a bit of a mental rest.
I think the only thing that with Bowen, he works hard. He works up and down. He had an off game today, but I think, you know, Fornells for me today, I don't know. He just seemed he goes missing. Like, there's points where I don't even realise he's on the pitch, and I thought to myself after about 55, 60 minutes, I would have took him off and put Lanzini on, because Lanzini would have been buzzing from the other night. Give him a little run out, similar sort of player. You know, but yeah, I don't know. He was the only disappointment for me today. I can't fault anyone. I thought the back five was brilliant. I thought Souček, you know, he on another day he could have got 2 goals. You know,
I mean, you're saying about Bowen. I know there was early on first half he went for, there was a penalty shot, not for me, when he went down in the area.
No,
but to be honest, I think if it had carried on going, I think there was a shooting opportunity there.
It's one of the ones, that one is 6 to 1 half a dozen the other. I've seen them given, to be quite honest with you. I've seen less given, but you know, it's one of the ones.
For me, though, I think it was minimal contact. I don't.
Yeah, I think he was looking for it in the end, but I have seen him given before. He definitely had an handful of him at first, and you know, but again, that was a time when he could have laid, you know, when he sort of flicked it on his left. If it had just played that ball to Fornells was wide open on the far post, and it was one of them where he could have just laid it across and let Fornells have a shot on goal. But it's one of them ones. I'm sure he's just frustrated. He wants to show his worth. He wants to show that he's a good player, and he is a good player. But he needs to start working on his decision making, and you know, especially like it being in a position that we're in and we're going to be in, he needs to make the decisions for the team and not so much for himself. That's what I would say. Yeah.
I mean, I think one thing as well that impressed me with the team tonight is our reaction when we actually went 1-0 down. You know, we didn't bottle it. You know, we didn't hide away. We carried on, and we got a well-deserved equaliser just before half time. It's a great team goal as well. You know, great ball from Frederick and Antonio. You know, 9 goals in his last 9 Premier League games. He's a man on form at the moment. And I know we say about we want to see Haller starting and we feel sorry for Haller, but when you've got Antonio scoring like that, you know, it's hard to get. The only way you get them both in the team is you play them up top together. See, me personally, I'd love to see them both play up top together. I think they'd frighten a lot of defences.
I think they've worked really well together up top.
Yeah, I do feel a bit sorry for Haller. It must be very frustrating for him.
Well, I think, to be honest with you, I think this was the difference between the two teams tonight. And I'm going to say this. I think, and we've said this last season when it was 5 subs, his in-game management is awful. He is a reactionary manager rather than a proactive manager. There were times today when we were screaming out for Haller, we were screaming out for Anderson, we were screaming out for, you know, a Lanzini, a Yarmolenko, someone like that. Got loads of talent on the bench, players that can win you games. Now, we've always said about Anderson, you know, I know he hasn't been in the best of form, but he played well on Tuesday. Haller played well on Tuesday. Lanzini played well on Tuesday. All 3 of them are sitting on the bench. Now, I'm not going to knock him too much because the team that, you know, that was on the pitch, they done well. But there are times when, you know, that's what Arteta was doing. He was seeing things weren't working too well, and he was saying, right, let's send on Pepe, let's send on the kid that scored, you know, and that's the difference between the two managers. Moyes barely does anything until he's forced to. Until he's forced to make a decision, he barely does anything. We see our first sub on 82 minutes. On 84 minutes, we went 2-1 down. Then on 86 minutes or something, he's trying to bring on the two players that can, you know, make, you know, things happen. And you could see in their faces, like when he's bringing them on 88, 89 minutes, they're thinking to themselves, like, what the fuck do you expect me to do here? I've got 5 minutes to try and pull this out in the arse. Like, there was a time between 55 and 75 minutes where we was well on top of them. We was creating chance after chance. Ball was getting in the box. We couldn't quite get on the end of them with Antonio or Souček. You know, we hit the bar and all that. But that's when you think, right, we're on top of them now. Let's get Haller on there. He's got the quality to put the ball in the back of them. And let's get Anderson on there. He's got the trickery to get round one or two of them on the wing and put a ball in for them. Let's get, Lanzini on, who's got the trickery to, dance around people in the penalty box, maybe get himself a penalty. But I know that people are going to say, they've had plenty of chances and all that, but how can you expect these people to impress? He obviously doesn't trust them, Ryan. This is what it comes down to. When you look at the game Grady Diangana had at West Brom today, and the fact that we've now got Anderson sitting on the bench, I'd rather have shot Anderson off for the same money that we sold Diangana for, because I think he would have been more susceptible to playing on a wing. It just doesn't make any sense to me. His in-game management is poor.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I definitely agree. And as we said, and you just said there was a spell in that game where we had 15 minutes and we had the ball. We was knocking it about Arsenal. And that's when he should have made that decision then. He should have chucked someone like Haller or Yarmolenko on a bit earlier, because we was on top. And if we'd have nicked a goal, we would have gone on and probably got a third goal, because our confidence would have been buzzing, because Arsenal would have been trying to get that equaliser if we'd have gone 2-1 up. But yeah, as you said, coming on in the 88th and 89th minute, what can they do?
I never understand that. I never understand.
You can tell by their body language as well. You can just tell, and that both of their faces were just like they didn't even want to come on. And I sort of, the thing is with David Moyes as well. One thing I would say is when you're away at Arsenal, you're drawing 1-1. Sometimes it can work both ways. You can not make the sub and you can sort of nick a point, or you can make a change and then you lose the game. So it's a bit, if we'd have come out there 1-1 today and not lost that, we've probably all been praising Moyes a bit more. But look, at the end of the day, it's another defeat. Yeah, it's like start of the season, 2 defeats. And then we've got Wolves next week, which is going to be difficult. We ain't beat Wolves since they've come back up to the Premier League. And then we've got like Leicester, Tottenham, City, Liverpool. So, but going on tonight's performance, there's a bit more confidence to take into them games, because if we do play like that, we will pick up points.
Well, it's West Ham, and we can always pull an unexpected one out of the bag now and again, can't we?
But this is the thing, though, right?
Yeah, we beat Charlton 3-0.
We would have definitely had 3 points. It's just one of them. It's just such a disappointing way to lose a game. But we're getting used to it, coming back from the Emirates and saying, right, we should have beat them. You can't keep on coming back and saying, having them all pat you on the back, saying, you were brilliant today, and then coming away with 3 points. We should have punished them. We've got to punish them.
I think that's our 11th loss now at the Emirates. I mean, we're only, the last one obviously coming in Bilic's first game when we beat them 2-0. But in the last 12, we've lost our last 11 now.
Yeah, but I mean, the performance was encouraging today, I think, with the games we've got coming up. I think if we can perform at that level, certainly against Wolves and Leicester, then I think maybe we can pick something up in those 2 games.
I see some people in the chat saying that it would have been a gamble we didn't need to make, and I do understand hindsight's a wonderful thing, but we're not clinical enough. Like, we haven't got a striker on the pitch. If you want to score goals, unfortunately, to win games, you have to score goals. We've got one centre forward, and I know Antonio's on form, and I know he's in a goal scoring form of his life. But we've got one centre forward, and we don't even play him. I don't know where they expect to, And let's be fair, it wasn't like we had 10 minutes where we was on top of Arsenal and it was all Arsenal before that. It was a very even game before that, and I thought we had the better of the game.
Oh yeah, we was definitely the better team, mate. 100% the better team, and it's disappointing. It's disappointing that we've come out of that game with not even a point tonight when we deserved it. Because if we'd have got a point there tonight, we'd have had so much confidence going into the next game against Wolves. But they still will be confident. I mean, I'll take a lot of positives away from tonight. But you can't. How many times can you sit here and say, "Oh yeah, we play well, but we're not winning"? I'd rather play shit and win. At the moment, we need to get the points on the board, because you know, we're sitting down and there's 2 games down, you know, and we're no points on the table. You know, we don't really want to be in another relegation battle, but we will be. We will be this season, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's been a tough week at West Ham as well. There's still loads of Cullen, of course. Let's talk about Cullen a little bit. I mean, not even involved in the squad tonight. I thought I was really disappointed with that.
Yeah, man, the match the other day, I said earlier, I thought it'd have been perfect to come in the starting lineup tonight for me with for Noble. You know, he would have played in there with Rice and Souček. You know, the Emirates is a lovely pitch to play football on. You get so much room and space there. He'd have been picking out passes all day long. You know, he showed it the other night. People say, "Oh yeah, but it was only against Charlton." But it don't matter if it's only against Charlton. It's still you've got to beat what's in front of you. And I think he would have relished the chance tonight to play. And when he's not even on the bench, Cullen's probably sitting there now thinking, what's the point? I might as well go out on loan again or leave this club and go and play for someone week in, week out, because he's good enough to go and play for another Premier League team like at our level. I'm not saying he's going to play in the top fucking 6 team, but someone like a Fulham, you know, someone like that. He'll play week in, week out at a club like that.
Yeah. I mean, like you say, after the other night, some players must be thinking, what have they got to do to get an opportunity?
Snodgrass is another one. Snodgrass, you know, Snodgrass sometimes frustrates me, but I wish some of our players had the heart of Snodgrass, because he leaves it all out there.
Gives you 100%.
Yeah, he leaves it out there, and he's got a great, you know, his assists. You know, he's always picking out passes. He can cross a ball. And when these players ain't getting on the bench, and you've got someone like Haller and Anderson sitting on the bench, and you know they're frustrated as well. It's difficult, and you know I don't want to sit here and slate Moyes. I don't. But how long can this go on for? What if we go 10 games and we ain't even like got a win? What are they going to do? They're going to change the manager again.
Yeah, but I mean, there were some big managers out there. There's big managers out there, but I'll be honest with you, it'd be very tough to tempt any of them to come here, especially like someone like Pochettino. Like, he ain't got a job yet. You know, all the big manager positions are filled. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would be sitting too pretty tonight, to be quite honest with you. If they lose another couple of games, he could be on his way out. But, you know, Pochettino is sitting there. As I said, the big teams in world football, he might fancy a little bit of a project and all that. But how much of a project is it here? Because we're not seeing them give, you know, Moyes any money. They begrudgingly give their big manager that they reckon they've got a sort of a worldy manager, and they begrudgingly giving him the money. And ever since they've given him the money, they're just blaming everything on him. The club's in a bit of a 2 and 8. Like, I don't understand what's going on with the finances. I don't understand what's going on with anything. We've got swirling rumours that there's still a takeover bid coming in. You know, there's so much to digest at this club at the minute, and you know, there's a swirling rumour about Moyes is sort of refusing players because he doesn't think they're good enough. Which, if that's true, he's got a lot more bollocks than I give him a little bit of credit for, because apparently Sullivan's getting very upset over these players not being signed. As I said this morning on our Patreon show, you know, I don't think there's any other reason not to be upset about him not selling players, unless you want to, you want to play Championship manager and get players that you want in the side, and not giving the manager the chance to, you know, to go out and get the players he wants, or B, there's some other incentive for him. They're the only 2 reasons I can think.
I mean, the thing you're saying about, I mean, what manager want to come to the circus that we are at the minute?
The thing is with Pochettino is that we're never going to get Pochettino. The only way we'll get Pochettino is if we get billionaire owners that are going to chuck money at him and give him money to spend. Pochettino ain't going to look at a club like West Ham. He's going to hold out for a much bigger job. I mean, as you said, it's a.
No, but I mean that was just an example, like Pochettino.
No, yeah, but you're right though. It is a circus at the moment, and it's not. it's not a we all know it's not a well-run club, but yeah, you know, I don't really want to talk about all the negatives. You know, I'm positive after tonight's performance, but as I said, there's no point. There's no points on the table. I mean, Declan Rice, I thought had a tidy game. You know, got stuck in. People were saying about his attitude last week. His head's been turned, but the bloke just played 2 games in a week for England. You know, it catches up on you. So I thought he was a lot better tonight. Fred, as Nicky said earlier, Fredericks, I thought he had a decent game. Masawaka, as I said, probably one of the best games I've seen him play in a West Ham shirt. He really impressed me tonight. Because I like him in that role. I like him in that role going forward. We always criticise him about his defending, but I think I think the centre back spot actually suits Creswell. I think when Moyes played him there the first time around, when Moyes was there, Creswell improved so much. And Diop and Ogbonna again tonight. Diop was solid. You know, that he put in a few good blocks. Ogbonna was Ogbonna. You know, he's an 8. He's a 7 or 8 out of 10 every week. Even these poorest games, he's still our best player. And yeah, as I said, Fornals for me, he went missing. I know he does. People saying he does a lot of running, but I can run around on a football pitch for 90 minutes, you know. But if you're not getting the ball and not doing anything, what's the point of being on there? If he wants to run about, go and run a marathon, go and be a 100-meter sprinter or something.
I mean, the thing for me is that after last week, I really did think we could be on the wrong end of a bit of a slapping tonight. Especially having seen how Arsenal have been the last couple of games, they've looked quite sharp.
I thought the same. I thought it was going to be about 3 or 4-0 today. I honestly did. Yeah. I wasn't confident going. When I see the starting lineup come out, I thought he's made one change. You know, after last week's performance, you could have seen there could have been about 3 or 4 changes in that team. So, yeah.
So there's positives. I mean, we've lost. We're upset, but it was a massive improvement on last week. And like you say, with the rubber green, we could have got something out of the game. So there's positives to take forward for the next game.
Here.
Yeah. I do like Ryan's shirt.
How do we get out of this, boys?
Win.
Dig in.
Win games. I think we've got to stop being a bit nice as well. I don't like looking like... Listen, I love Antonio, but when I see him laughing and joking with the Arsenal players, like, even after the game, like, I can't stand all that, like, when players are standing there laughing and joking. You just lost a game of football. You know what I mean? And they're doing it during the game when we're losing 2-1. You know, I know Antonio likes to play with a smile on his face, but sometimes our players have got to be that little bit more... They've got to get a little bit of a nasty streak. And I think sometimes we're a bit too nice sometimes. You know what I mean?
I think we're very naive as well when it comes to, like, at 1-1, Arsenal got on top for about 5-10 minutes. And they was, you know, not too much on top, but they was on top. And that's the times when you got to start going down with a little mystery calf injury and getting and breaking up the play and all that. I don't think we do that enough. Like, you see these fucking teams that come to us, they go 1 or 2-0 up 60, 70 minutes into the game, and they're rolling around with calf injuries. They want to stop the game. The goalkeeper's taking it from one side to the other. We don't do enough of that, I don't think.
No.
We're too honest.
We don't use dirty tactics.
No, we don't play we don't use them to our advantage. And that is when, as well, teams start making subs to sort of break up the play and all that. And well, Moyes don't even fucking make all of his subs, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's frustrating because we definitely deserve something out of that. And I think Arsenal, even my mate texted me straight after the game and he said, "You deserve that." You know what I mean? And I
think there's an Arsenal fan out there that would turn around and say they deserve to win the game.
Oh, there'd be a couple. Don't worry about that. Flick over to go and watch Arsenal fan TV after. There's probably people on their interviews saying about it, but it is what it is. I mean, we just got to go into that Wolves game now. When do we play? Next Sunday now, so they've got a week off.
First, didn't we?
Oh no, we've got a cup, didn't we? I forgot about that. We've got Hull, yeah. So and that, well, this is another thing. Like we got Hull on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever it is, and Josh Cullen and Snodgrass, and it'll probably be a similar team to where it was the other night against Charlton, you know. And Josh Cullen's going to go out there and he's going to do what he always does. He's going to play, you know, the way he does, but he'd be thinking, if I have a good game, I'm not even going to get in the squad for Sunday. It's frustrating for these sort of players, and I feel sorry for Cullen because he's at that age now. He's 24, and he's got to be thinking to myself, I'm not getting regular first team football West Ham. I've got to move. And it'd be such a shame to lose someone like him.
It's not too much, you know, these things with Moyes is not they're not too far off the truth as well. I see interviews with Rio Ferdinand today was saying that you know, they respected Moyes to a certain extent, but there was times when he was leaving people out that, you know, maybe on the brink of the squad or whatever, but just giving them no explanations, and it frustrated a hell of a lot of people. And you know, it was
just quickly, mate. I know it's getting off the topic a bit. I don't know if you was did you hear what Patrice Evra said when they was talking about Zaha? No, he turned around and said that he was in the team and then he had an affair with David Moyes' daughter and that the Sky had to make an apology after. But yeah, it was just crazy the way he come out with it. Like, and then
what Zaha? That's Zaha, right?
Yeah, Zaha for Palace, because he was doing the Palace and that Man United game, and he said like when he was playing for Man United that he was in favour, and then all of a sudden he was dropped, and he said he was because he was having an affair with David. Maybe Sebastian Haller's flung one up bit or something. That's why he ain't getting on.
Well, eloquently put, right? Very eloquently put.
Well, you know, sad as it is.
No, but I'm just saying that. But Rio Ferdinand was saying about it was, you know, it was exactly the same. There, people would be, you know, playing well and like especially with a champion winning side. He was saying like, you know, your fringe players are as important as your first team, because when they when you've got injuries or suspensions or whatever, they've got to come in and play, and you've got to keep them, you know, you've got to keep them feeling they're important. But he just said he just ignores them. And again, he would not attack teams. They're Man United, and he was saying, we're Man United, and he's setting up not to lose and talking more about the players that are playing against them rather than the players that they've got. And he said, well, this, you know, that's why a lot of people went off him quickly, because he was saying, well, this ain't us. You know, we're not scared of anybody. We're Man United. We shouldn't be worrying about Henry or whoever it was at the time. I don't know who it was at the time, but you know, all of these players were Man United. We beat anyone, and that's, you know, that's a little bit what we're seeing at West Ham. He's always setting up not to lose. He's worried about conceding rather than scoring. You know, and you've got sort of players on the fringes that are playing really well, and then they're just sort of slung to the side. And you could just see in the body language of Allaire and Anderson when they come on that they're sort of at the end of their tether.
Yeah, and I don't blame him, mate. If I was Sebastian Haller, I would have been in that team meeting yesterday when the team gets announced. I would have been expecting to be on that team in the first team. You know, the starting 11.
To be fair, right, there's another player that could probably say the same thing, and that'd be Balbuena. I mean, I don't know what Balbuena's got to do to get a game. They played 3 centre backs tonight, and he's a centre back.
Yeah. It's the thing is, I know. Look, you can only start 11 players. That's the thing. But when you like Sebastian, with Haller gets 2 goals, he's a goal. He's a striker. We're playing basically because Antonio's. I know he's playing up front at the moment. And he's on a good run, and it's hard to drop him. But he's not a striker, is he? And Haller must be sitting there thinking, "Well, I'm a striker. I'm your record signing. I'm a striker. I scored 2 goals the other night, and I'm on the bench, and I'm getting 4 minutes.
Yeah,
in 4 minutes in a game that when it's 1-1, we'd have brought him on a bit earlier. Because how can you can't get into a game that quick?
course not.
No.
You know, and not only
No,
that,
no.
you're chasing the game, which is different. You know, if you're looking for a winner, you know it's different. But when you come on and Arsenal are just going to take it down the other end, keep it in the corner. Haller probably touched the ball twice when he come on. Anderson touched it about 3 or 4 times. He tried to do a back flick when, you know, and he nearly fucked that up. It was only there that Declan Rice was there to pick it up, but that ball should have gone straight in the box. Why is he on the edge of the box trying to do like tricks and flicks? Fucking whip it in there. That's why I look at Anderson sometimes.
Probably trying to show off to Lazio, mate, and saying,
well, that's why I look at Anderson sometimes and I think to myself, maybe that's why you are on the bench, because you do things like that. You know, do the simple things, get it in the box, because if that was Snodgrass, that's going straight in. Yarmolenko come on and I don't mind Yarmolenko. I think sometimes that he deserves maybe to start because he offers you something. He offers you something different sometimes.
Yeah. But it's a lot of money sitting on the bench, right? And just for me, it's like the tactics have worked today, but I just don't think he struck while the iron was hot, and he's far too worried about conceding, and he's never forward thinking. He's never thinking to himself, we're on top here. We can get a winner. We've had the better of Arsenal here. The thing is, right? If he'd have made them subs early and we'd have lost the game, and he was going for it, I'd have accepted it. But I can't accept it when you're trying to shut up shop at 1-1 and. I don't know. It's just, especially when you're the better team, I just think his in-game management's poor. I'll be honest with you, mate. I'll be very surprised if we're not looking for a new manager after 7-8 games because you keep on doing all this sort of crap. I don't think.
Realistically, if they do look to change, the only managers you're going to sort of attract at the moment, Eddie Howe's out of a job. He's a risky one. Sean Dyche, he's another one that we was linked with in before Moyes come in. Would he leave Burnley for us?
Probably not.
I don't know. He's got it cushy at Burnley and he runs the club basically. So would he want to come and work for Gold, Sullivan and Brady? I know he's quite good friends with Brady, so that might sway things. But a Sean Dyche would give a few of them players a kick up the arse. And that's why...
mate. Well, anyone who comes in, they're not really going to get much of a say. In, like you say, Dyche is pretty much running the club at the minute. It comes to West Ham, he's not going to have that freedom.
Yeah, but the thing is, managers are there to manage the team. Don't worry about all the other fucking parts of running a football club. Come in, do your job, get the players playing, pick the best 11 on a Saturday and win games. That's what managers do. I don't like when managers are too involved in the club, worrying about other things and just do what you're there to do.
All right, boys, should we wrap it up there?
Yeah. Nothing else to talk about, is there? Just to sum it up, the best team lost.
I think so. I think we were very unlucky.
Yeah. It seems to be all too familiar when we play Arsenal, doesn't it? It seems to be a familiar conversation.
Someone just said fat Sam, Big Sam Allardyce, and it wouldn't surprise me, mate, if he come back.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's post-match Pint. Go and check out all the fan cams that we've done earlier on. We've got a game on Wednesday, but I won't be here. The boys will be here building up the content till that to the next game. That is Wednesday, isn't it? I'm right.
Yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday.
I thought it was Tuesday. I could be wrong.
Yeah. If it's Tuesday, I might be here. But
it's midweek.
We'll see when it is. So they'll be building up all the content. As I said, go and check all the build up and all of that sort of stuff to here. Check out the fan cams. I'll be back tomorrow morning with the morning after the game before. Join our Patreon. The link's in the description down below. You get a lot of, a few unique shows. We've done another unique show this morning, which it goes down well, though, right? Didn't it? You enjoyed that?
Yeah, it was good, mate. Yeah, really good.
Other benefits to becoming a patron as well. It supports us. It gets us back towards our goal to becoming full-time YouTubers and working on this 24/7. If we can do that, it would be a dream come true, not only for me but for the boys in this channel, and it would make our content so much more, profound, consistent, and all of that sort of stuff. So the support from the patrons really, really, really helps us out. And you see what's going on Arsenal Fan TV. They've got big studios with 20-odd people sitting in there. Don't know how they've done that because they're meant to be 6, but that's up to them. And if they want to break the rules and get £100 fine each, that's up to them. But you can get all of that sort of stuff put together. So go and check that out. Also check out our T-shirts. I don't think anyone's got one on tonight, but you normally see us wearing them. Very good designs over there. That link's in the description down below as well. Thank you very much for joining us. One thing left to say, boys.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons. Not the awkward Scott way.
Yeah.